Hello everyone, I'm David Avgi. I'm Chief Executive of a listed company, London Stock Exchange. We floated in 2014, and we tripled the revenues from 2014, very profitable. And I have the honor to come here with one of our clients and show you actual case on what SafeCharge can offer to our customers in terms of, number one, global acquiring platform. Second is about data insights and analytics, which eventually will assist our merchants to sell more. And number three is more about global expansion and risk management, which we'll discuss. So, Cenk.
I'm Cenk, everything5pounds.com. I think the previous speakers mentioned that there are only people from payment providers here, but here I am standing in front of you as a client, and I think David's fate is in my hands. So we haven't prepared anything to talk, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with how it starts. Yeah? So everything £5 was the operation. It's a retail business selling in the UK. They were using multiple suppliers, using an open source platform, which in our opinion was ineffective and complex payment solution. When integrating to SafeCharge, which is a PSP that evolved to become an acquirer, we provided a comprehensive, highly effective, and end-to-end payment solution. So one focal point for the clients, which eventually can get from us our own card acquiring, alternative payment solution, smart checkout, in a one single API. We also completed for them integrations to one of the largest shop software, which is so-called hybrids. So no integrations and fast time to market for the migration they did from the open source to hybrids.
Thanks. So David and SafeCharge came into play right after we switched from our own homemade shopping cart software to one of the biggest enterprise solutions called Hybris. So we grew revenue significantly since our inception in 2010, growing in 4-digit numbers for a couple of years, and then converging back to 20-25% per year-on-year growth. That brought in a lot of challenges around the payment platforms and the distribution, warehousing, sourcing, and stuff like that. But one of the biggest issues is the payment platform we were using. We went with a lot of the UK's biggest acquirers, and then we met SafeCharge, and thankfully they brought in the solution we were looking for. One of the biggest issues we had was everything5pounds.com became too popular among the Eastern European and the Southeast market, and the payment providers we had, they were only showing the English version of the site when a customer from another country wanted to pay. So SafeCharge supplies us the service where when a user logs in from Denmark, which is an English-speaking country just as well as UK, it can still show the site in Danish. If someone logs in from Turkey, it will show you all the forms in Turkish, and it will also do the local currency conversion for you. So that was one of the decisions why we switched to SafeCharge, and the decision was vindicated by 15% increase in the volume that we did with the other countries than UK.
All right. Thanks. Impressive.
Sorry, I forgot to mention the Alice present. So everything5pounds.com has now started to go into other regions in the world, and Germany is the first example. So when we wanted to switch when we wanted to go into Germany, again we went and speak to SafeCharge, and they were obliged to help. We had the idea of selling everything for €10 in Germany, but then we didn't have an idea about how to acquire payments. We thought, okay, we'll go and take credit cards and PayPal and stuff like that, but that's not the story. SafeCharge provided the Sofort and GiroPay options as well as the local currency and language.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, with one single integration to SafeCharge, our clients are capable to process through all the card schemes and more than 150 alternative payment methods, which are not card. Some of them are the latest one, like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Android Pay, and many others in Southeast Asia and in Latin America. The key thing for our merchant is to have a very simple integration, one focal point, one agreement, and one company that will settle the payments for them. And that's what SafeCharge is doing with our integration team. We are keep going and developing integration and maintaining the integrations to our customers. Let's talk a little bit about the impact of expert fraud prevention and service. So the challenge with everything £5 was in October 2016 when the chargeback ratio was stand on 50 basis points, still below the threshold that's set by Visa and MasterCard, but it's significant and painful for our merchants to lose 0.5% of their sales on fraud. SafeCharge, with the right configuration and setting up the right rules using our risk engine, we will manage to decrease significantly the chargeback ratio to 2 basis points in June 17. How we did it? So number one, we implement for them the smart 3D secure management. 3D secure, I'm sure that most of you know, this is security standards by Visa and MasterCard. The end user needs to authenticate himself during the authorization process. We've managed to implement for this for everything £5 the smart 3D secure, and more than that, adaptation of the risk transaction rules. I'm not sure some of you will know about velocity checks. If end user is using more than one card from the same email, there is a flag by the system. All kind of patterns detection to ensure that the end user is legitimate and is the one to receive the merchandise. Eventually, SafeCharge fraud technologies lower the chargeback ratio to 2 basis points and eventually save to everything £5, nearly a quarter of million pound a year. Maybe you.
Yeah, this is my bit. I found everything £5 in a space of about 10 square meters to fit my computer and all the stock. So in the very early days, as a small business, we had a lot of challenges, and we didn't have a big team. So one of the worst things that you can think of as a small or medium business owner is your payment gateway going down. This is something happens to everyone, and all you hear from most of the providers is, yes, they've got this magical number, 99% uptime, but I think what matters is what comes after 99 and how many nines they have following it. Most of the companies take pride in telling you that they communicate with you any downtimes they have, so you've got time to cover. You're advised to take a backup payment provider just in case when your first one goes down, you switch, and there is a code that you need to implement so that it switches automatically and stuff like that. But as a small business owner, you don't have time to think about these things. So what you're looking for is uptime, and uptime in 99.9 numbers. So since we switched to SafeCharge, we've had almost no issues with service downtimes, and this is the best I've seen so far. I think SafeCharge's background in more competitive areas gave them the edge of having very, very minimal downtime, which I haven't actually witnessed to date.
All right. I think that to conclude is thank you. And I think the best thing is to show a case study from a customers where you can really give him value and by selling more, allowing him to sell more, and by save money because of fraud. I think that any online retailers needs much more than a standard payment gateway. They need a payment partner that gives them access in one integration to all the schemes and to alternative payment solution. Number two, they need a strong risk engine. And number three, in a very high standards of service uptime. SafeCharge is operating for years with a very demanding businesses. That's what they are requesting, and we assisting them to sell more in a safe way. That's behind the name SafeCharge. And we are exhibiting here in the show. You can come to stand D30, and tomorrow we are planning to launch our new product that combine all these advantages and uniqueness, and we are releasing tomorrow the Marketplace Manager. So you are all invited tomorrow. I think it's around 11 a.m. for the product. So from my side, thank you everyone.
Thank you very much.